You think our friends here were involved with Captain Picard's disappearance?
You know these Sona? They are friends of yours.
Hey, it's Janelle Waz, and welcome back to another episode of Waz Reviews. You all remember Star Trek Insurrection, right?
And have you noticed how your boobs have started to firm up?
Yeah, that one. Didn't you always want a sequel to it? No, not that one. I'm talking about the 1999 game Star Trek Hidden Evil. Now, I'm gonna be honest with all of you, I'm not a big fan of Star Trek Insurrection. In fact, I consider it the worst of the next-gen movies, even more so than Nemesis. Parts of it felt unfinished, the plot didn't really have much of a point for me, and the dumb moments ended up being the best parts of the movie.
I have been designed to serve as a flotation device.
Still meme material, though.
A British tar is a soaring soul, as free as a mountain bird.
But a Star Trek game with ground missions and featuring the voices of Patrick Stewart and Brent Spiner? Count me in. Wait, Salome Jens is in this too?
It's good to see you again.
But with this game available on GOG, is Star Trek Hidden Evil worth a play today, or is this little 3D monstrosity best left in the past? The Dominion War and Cisco's battle with the Pa Wraiths may be underway, but in the meantime, Picard and Data are fighting a hidden evil in Star Trek Hidden Evil.
Ensign, for your sake, I hope that phaser's set on tickle.
But before I go further, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I talk a lot about Star Trek, video games, and whatever else I feel like talking about. And if you'd like to help support the channel, consider becoming a member. Be great to have you aboard. Captain Picard gives his captain's log as the Enterprise E and some clips from Star Trek Insurrection come into view. It's been 9 months since Worf had a Klingon pimple, and Data asking him some rather personal questions. The Enterprise is heading back to the Baku planet. The Sona got permission to build their own colony on the planet with their Baku relatives, and during construction, they found evidence of an ancient civilization that once lived on the planet. So rather than call an actual archaeologist, Starfleet is sending an archaeology enthusiast.
Archaeology has been a hobby of mine since academy days.
However, we're not playing as Picard in this game, but Vulcan-raised human Ensign Sovok, unhappily assigned to Outpost 40, but now he's getting the chance to shuttle Picard around and maybe, just maybe, get reassigned to the Enterprise. If the shuttle doesn't blow up first. And rather than getting some well-needed shut-eye before the big mission to impress a well-distinguished captain, Sovok's in the holodeck practicing his Vulcan neck pinch. So, training's going well. Alright, get out of the holodeck, Sovok. You want to impress Picard, not Riker.
You need me, I'll be in holodeck 4.
Okay, finally we're on the Baku planet, and Picard is asking for Ensign Sovok to meet him at the excavation site. This is where the game begins, the start of 9 missions. And the actual gameplay can be a little odd. Sure, it has some sense of normalcy. You control Sovok with the WASD keys, you equip certain items with the number keys, and you press space to interact with your environment or to talk to people. Tab opens up your inventory and the directional keys cycle through it, but still not too weird. But if you want to run, you have to either hold down shift, which is annoying, or press caps lock to run automatically. Which I tend to forget to turn off when I'm done with the game, and I start typing all in caps. The camera is also in a fixed area for each screen, which I can appreciate it for giving the game a point-and-click feel, and I love me some point-and-click games. The problem is, this isn't a point-and-click game, and it makes controlling Sovok difficult. Not to mention, you have to be standing in exactly the right spot in order to interact with something. Oh, and aiming during combat? Not a thing in this game. It auto-aims for you, and it's not very good. Heck, you have just about as much chance as getting hurt as you do actually hitting your target. I mean, I played games set up similarly to this, but that doesn't mean it's good. Usually just results in me laughing at how terrible the controls are. Which, to be fair, in my retro gaming mind, it does have a charm to it, almost an endearing quality. I just can't call it good. But anyways, after running through the Baku colony, Sovok finally meets up with Picard in a weird underground chamber, standing in front of, I'm sure, a totally not ominous circular device with a healthy green glow. Sweet, a Picard maneuver!
I want you to take this relic to Commander Data for analysis.
Oh joy! I'm a delivery boy for Captain Picard! That's what I went to the Academy for! You want some Earl Grey while I'm at it, Captain? What do I have to do to get a decent job around here? Be the Captain's son?
I hereby grant you field promotion to full ensign.
Ensign, you have been given an order.
Yes, sir.
Guys, developers, this is not the way people walk. So Errand Boy Sovok goes up the long elevator through the Baku colony to hand Data a weird mushroom device just for Picard to get in a firefight.
Who's there? Identify yourself. Data, I'm under attack at the ruins.
Ensign, follow me to the excavation site.
I was just there! Alright, I better go help. All for the promotion.
Did those Sona attack the captain?
Unknown.
Well, you know what? I just don't know. I mean, they are shooting at us after all.
I will assume most of your diction is sarcastic.
You know, for me, that's probably not a bad assumption to make. Picard is nowhere to be found, and Data's detecting evidence of transporter technology in the area. I mean, it's gotta be that weird circle with a healthy green glow, which you activate with the weird mushroom device and complete a little puzzle. Picard eventually answers the comm badge and orders me to explore basically the basement of the basement, the lower level of the excavation site, filled with purple flames and weird scorpions. Yeah! Just back away and shoot, back away and shoot!
Awakened, I sense a child.
Wait a minute. I know that voice! Lucy, where's Odo? And what the hell are you doing here?
I have been, for countless years, Zatal.
So that's what they're calling you now.
What use would I have for a name? I cannot help you like this. The Undercity is too weak. Must restore the metaphasic conductors. I can aid you then.
I don't know, lady. I just met you in the planet's creepy basement. You don't exactly tell me who you are other than your name. And you want me to restore power without telling me what you're actually gonna do with it. Sounds like I'm asking to get kidnapped or something.
This sounds like our best opportunity to learn more about this culture and discover a way out. But
Really, Jean-Luc? Really? We don't know anything about these people. They have weird subterranean bases, possibly over lava, crawling with giant bugs that try to kill you. All of them are scary looking. Why can't we have a giant butterfly? But sure, let's just help the random stranger we just met.
In truth, I am trapped in a stasis field in my own lab.
Oh, hell no! Do you know how many times someone woke someone up on Star Trek and it turned out badly?
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
So Zatal was placed in stasis because her civilization destroyed itself experimenting with genetics, and she was supposed to eventually come up with a cure. At least according to her, she hasn't really proven anything to me yet. But we're still gonna help her.
Then the Federation is even more naive than I already think it is.
They arrived just before you.
Oh, that's who she is! It's not Peppermint Puddle, it's the progenitor! You know, Season 6, Next Gen, The Chase, there was talk of biscuit recipes.
Biscuits? I will send you my mother's recipe.
How dare you?
And why there are so many humanoid aliens in Star Trek.
There is something of us in each of you.
And you know what? I can dig it. Sure, The Chase was never a favorite of mine, but I can appreciate the callback to Next Gen. And with a character that we never actually met before. We only saw a hologram of her. And with Salome Jens voicing her, I'm sold. I'm ready to continue this game.
Your death means the birth of...
Oh.
That's all?
So it turns out the Romulans are behind all of this, and they're after the Xenophore seed. Whatever the hell that is. Zatal claims that that's what destroyed her civilization, and it was destroyed. In short,
he's a bad seed. He's a horrible seed. He's one of the worst seeds I've ever seen.
But the Romulans found another one, stole it, and killed Zatal. What a waste of Salome Jens. It's just Sovok as a one-man wrecking crew, taking out an entire lab full of Romulans, holding his arm out perfectly straight with a phaser.
That is disturbing news.
Holy! It's already been 4 missions? You mean I'm almost halfway through this game? I just started it! Meanwhile, Picard is stuck on a bridge by steam shooting out of some vents, and we have to help him out.
Ensign, be careful. That steam is deadly.
Thanks, Captain! Rather than running through deadly steam, the key to getting to Captain Picard is to make a hybrid out of 2 different species so it's big and loves steam. Because it's not like messing with genetics was what got the progenitor into this mess in the first place. Now we have this weird freak of nature roaming around down here.
Ingenious solution, Sovok.
Holy Earl Grey tea! Picard looks horrifying! I mean, I can tell it's Picard, but everything about him is just so wrong. The unmoving eyebrows, the pointy nose, the endless black abyss of his mouth with puppet physics. Heck, he basically moves like a glorified stick figure. And yet they somehow managed to animate the Picard maneuver into this game. Well, at least we know where the budget went. And the terrifying thing is that Picard is probably one of the better looking models in this game. Look what they did to poor Sovok here. He's basically a GoldenEye character. And Data. Poor Data. What did they do to your beautiful face?
I always loved that face.
Well, we should probably let Starfleet know what's going on here, so someone needs to go back to the outpost. Sovok, not wanting to pass up an opportunity for that sweet, sweet promotion, says he prefers to stay here since he would be a greater asset here than on the outpost. Even though Data is a literal android with greater strength and more knowledge than Picard and Sovok combined.
Perhaps it is best if I take the shuttle.
Picard and Sovok stay on the planet to search for the seed, which really just involves trying to defend myself from Sona that keep phasing in and out of cloak. Because, call back to Insurrection. While I still have terrible aim as they try to shank me in broad daylight. But eventually, I'm able to knock out the hollow emitter hiding the Sona, so Sovok is still outnumbered, but he can at least see who's coming after him.
I underestimated you, Ensign, as you have underestimated me by confronting me here.
Well, the seed's not here, so time to get off the planet after Picard releases some hostages, including his Baku girlfriend, Anij.
You're standing in a Baku starship, young man.
Anij, what did they do to you? I mean, she was an attractive older woman in the movie. In this game, these graphics are just unfortunate. I know, late 90s 3D modeling, but that doesn't make it right. Picard, Anij, Sovok, and this guy flee the Baku colony on a Baku ship and find a Romulan station hidden in the middle of a nebula. And I doubt they're there for the coffee.
That's no moon.
It's coffee in that nebula.
Oh joy! And here we are without some cloaked Klingon ships for backup. Picard, Anij, and this guy are going to deal with the Warbird. Because it's not like we're outgunned or anything. While Sovok infiltrates the station to look for the seed.
Stealth will be your advantage.
Oh, lovely. Because we all know how great I am at stealth.
Bring them on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
Now, I have to hand it to this game. The stealth section is kinda interesting. You're given a personal cloaking device, and you use it to slip by unnoticed. However, it's battery powered, so you'll have to hide and turn it off to recharge. You also can't use a phaser here because it's not very stealthy, so the Vulcan neck pinch is your only method of defense. You'll also have to avoid sensors, and touching anyone will sound the alarm and result in getting your ass kicked. I like the idea of all of this, and if the controls were better, it would be satisfying. But...
Intruder!
Yeah, it's not so stealthy when you're trying to neck pinch someone from behind, but you keep missing the right spot to pinch them, and they figure out you're there. Also, this glitchy moment made it impossible to neck pinch Romulan Oddjob.
That'll make too much noise. I'm really starting to dislike Romulans.
And infiltrating the station? Basically running around in a circle of hallways until you hopefully stumble into where you need to go. I had no idea where I was going half the time. How does anyone get any work done around here if you're getting lost all the time? Meanwhile...
The battle out here is not going well.
Well, no shit, Captain! You're taking on a freaking warbird in a glorified bucket! Oh, and now my cloaking suit is malfunctioning. Woohoo! No more stealth! Oh, lovely. We've just entered a horror movie! The place is crawling with giant spiders, the likes that not even Godzilla has seen. And I still don't know where I'm going. With the help of a Romulan scientist who's creating a denaturing agent to stop the seed, basically to destroy it and stop it from mass replicating itself, as if we couldn't tell what it was doing, we're able to not just collect a sample from the seed, while fighting off it and whatever horror it's creating, but also fry it. Which you have to do in a very specific order. Can't just jab it into the seed, you need to load it into an injection device.
Your interference means nothing.
Yeah, tell it to the lawnmower.
Why would anyone do drugs when they could just mow a lawn?
Meanwhile, the Enterprise saved Picard in the nick of time, and Ensign Sovok is recovering in sickbay.
I am hoping that if I loiter around long enough or feign a really bad injury, Captain Picard will ask me to stay aboard the Enterprise.
Again, not unless you're related to the captain. But at the very least, everything seems back to normal. Oh, you've got to be kidding me! So the surviving Romulans we beamed over from the station were actually disguised aliens. And they're trying to recreate the seed in the warp core, so we gotta eject it. Bet Worf and Chief O'Brien are patting themselves on the back that they're not stationed on the Enterprise anymore. And where the hell is Geordi? Why isn't he helping? While the bulk of the game wasn't too hard up to this point, I found this section to be particularly difficult. You have to get to different parts of engineering by running all over the ship and finding access points, which you have to do in a certain order, while putting up force fields to protect you from flying bug things.
Vicious animal things.
All while fighting off whatever freak of nature is after you. At the very least, the tricorder has a nice map so you don't get completely lost, but I still had a hard time figuring out where I was going. All the halls of the Enterprise just looked the same after a while.
All command functions have been routed back to the bridge. You did it, Ensign Sovok.
With the warp core and seed ejected, one question remains. Did Sovok earn his spot on the Enterprise? Even better, he's now a lieutenant, and he has a seat at the poker table with Picard, Data, and a random sickbay nurse? Hey, where's Beverly? Heck, where's Riker and Troy? This is before Nemesis. Data's still alive, and Riker didn't get his own ship yet. Where are all the regulars? 5-card stud, nothing wild means nothing if the whole gang isn't there to play it! And that was Star Trek Hidden Evil. Can I call this a good game? Probably not, but that's not to say there isn't any fun to be had here. The plot itself isn't bad, and I do like the callback to The Chase. But a sequel to Insurrection? Really? And it's always nice to see actors come back and reprise their roles, so Patrick Stewart, Brent Spiner, and Salome Jens lending their voices was a plus and a big reason why I wanted to play this game. And sure, the graphics can be horrifying at times, but in a way, I almost find it endearing. Late 90s 3D Picard isn't real, he can't hurt you. That being said, the controls haven't aged well, making the game difficult to play. And combined with the weird camera angles that make interacting with certain objects, or even defending yourself in combat situations harder, only makes things worse. The game was also a lot shorter than I thought it would be. It's not bad today since it's pretty cheap on sites like GOG, but I can't imagine paying full price for this game when it came out for it to be this short. If it was a particularly difficult game, that's one thing, but the puzzles weren't that hard, and I got through this game in about 5.5 hours without a walkthrough. That's not very long for a game. I can't give a glowing recommendation for this game. Heck, I'm not even sure it falls into the so bad it's good category. But if you insist on playing it, it's not the worst way to spend a couple of hours. It's not Sub Rosa bad, but it's not exactly top tier Trek. Star Trek Hidden Evil, where the true horror of the game is not the bad seed, but the terrible 90s controls.
We saved a seat for you, Lieutenant.
So what do you think? Have you played Star Trek Hidden Evil? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you play it when it came out, or did you play it years later? And how has that shaped your view of the game? And what are some of your favorite Star Trek games? Please, leave comments below and discuss. As always, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Waz Reviews. If you like what you see, why not give my video a like and subscribe to my channel? Tell your friends! Until next time...
I've had quite enough archaeology for today.